Hola Unconventionals, I'm Amelia.
And I'm JP.
And we're sharing our unconventional life with you from Ecuador.
And it's a beautiful sunny day. Pachamama has been kind to us. So we're going to head into Montañita and walk around. And while we do that, we're going to share with you our top 10 things that we missed most about the United States as expats living in Ecuador. Vamos a llevar un taxi, or tomar. It's tomar, right?
I think, yeah.
Vamos a tomar un taxi.
Sí. Yeah, not llevar. Hola. Buenas tardes. Before we start our walk, if you're new to our channel, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell please, because we show what it's really like to live in Ecuador. Hi. Oh.
Hola.
What a sweetie.
Oh. The first thing we miss most about the United States is the one-stop shop.
Yes, we often have to make multiple trips and go to multiple stores to check everything off our list.
Yeah, there is no online shopping here.
No.
And even the big stores like Mega Maxi and Hypermart, they're often out of things or just don't have things. So even when we go to those stores, we still end up going other places to find everything.
Most of the stores here are mom and pop stores. They specialize in different items, and therefore we spend a lot of time, I should say, walking from place to place, which is nice because we get our exercise, but there are times when we are in a hurry and we just want a one and done.
Amelia, this place looks like the Taj Mahal.
Yeah, it kind of stands out here. The second thing we miss about the United States, and it's kind of related to the first thing we miss, is that there is no postal service. So if you want to order something online, it may be very difficult to get here because it may get caught up in customs and it may take months to get delivered to your house if they can find your house. I say that because Ecuador does not have a specific address system here. A lot of places only have intersections as the address. The place we live in right now doesn't have a building number at all, so no very specific address, and that makes it really hard for deliveries. If you do need to mail something or receive something in Ecuador, most people use DHL or FedEx, and there's also mule services available. Those options are more expensive, and it just makes us really appreciate the U.S. Postal Service.
The third thing we miss about the United States is the structure and efficiency. The processes and procedures here just are not very clearly defined, and they vary a lot by government employee or store employee. So if you ask one person the same, or two people the same question, you might get two different answers.
Yeah, it's interesting too because a lot of business don't have structured hours here, and you might try to find their information on Facebook and they'll say one thing like when they're open, and then you'll show up and they're closed. That happened to us a lot in Cuenca.
The fourth thing that we miss about the United States is being able to just hop in the car and drive somewhere. We don't have a car here. We don't want a car here. They're very expensive. Insurance is not a law, so you don't have to have insurance. That means a lot of the other people on the road don't have it. And we just don't like the expense and maintenance of owning a car, but sometimes it would be really nice to just hop in the car and drive to the store and not have to find a cab or hop on a bus and deal with all of that. It is really warm today.
Oh, it feels so good.
Oh, this bridge is a hazard. Amelia, I don't want to fall in.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy. Be careful.
I think I'll walk right down the middle.
I don't know, holding the rail might be a good idea.
Hola, perro.
We took a break from filming and stopped into Montanita Sol. They specialize in jewelry made by 4 different families of craftsmen that use this, which is tagua. It is the stone or the pit of the palm tree, the fruit from the palm trees, and they polish it and use it to make figurines, jewelry. They use the dust or powder to make different colors, and it's absolutely amazing. It's like a version of ivory, only it's vegetable, and it's pretty heavy, so they gave us this. It's really pretty. We're going to use it as a paperweight. They also do silk screening and custom clothing. Well, I should say hand-sewn clothing. It's not custom. And then beautiful jewelry made out of metals and other cosas así. And I told JP we're going to have to go back in there and do some shopping because I love it.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao. Gracias.
The 5th thing we miss about the United States is the punctuality. In the United States, people are very punctual, but in Ecuador, not so much. And I'm not talking 5 or 10 minutes late, maybe an hour late, 2 hours late, a day late, and sometimes people just don't show up at all, or they cancel on you at the very last minute. It definitely is an adjustment, and most of the time we're just go with the flow, try to stay tranquilo, but there are moments when it drives me crazy, to be perfectly honest.
The 6th thing we miss about the United States are the electronics. They just don't have the same selection here, and the cost is a lot higher. You'll be shocked. Sometimes it's double what you would pay in the States for the same thing. And we really miss having all of the options and the selection. The United States is great if you are an electronics nerd.
The 7th thing we miss about the United States is our ability to communicate effectively. Here, so many things are word of mouth. Often people want to just pick up the phone and call, but JP and I are so used to using email, and a lot of people don't respond to email, unfortunately. Email's a lot easier for us because we can type in Spanish and do spell check and Google Translate, but that's unfortunately not readily accessible.
Yeah, and also part of that is the language barrier. We are learning Spanish, and we're a lot more fluent than we used to be, and we're really fluent in restaurants, taxis, and the mercado. But anything complicated like medical or electronic, we really struggle. And we certainly don't expect people here to speak English because we are in their country. That's why we're learning Spanish. But it makes it hard for us to communicate effectively, especially about important topics.
What a sweetheart you are. The 8th thing we miss about the United States is the drinkable tap water. We were able to drink the tap water in Cuenca, and it was delicious, just like mountain spring water, because it was. But most of Ecuador, you cannot drink the tap water, and when we moved to Alone, we had to start buying those big 5-gallon jugs of water. And while it's not a big deal, it's certainly not a deal breaker, it is an inconvenience and something I miss about Cuenca and the United States.
As I'm sitting here, I'm reminded of the 9th reason why we miss the United States, and that is you can't flush the toilet paper here. They just don't have these sewage systems that are capable of dealing with the volume of paper that people put into it. So you have to put it into a little covered pail next to the toilet. I honestly thought it was going to be a big deal before we moved here, but you get used to it within a few days. It's really not that big of a deal. It's certainly not a deal breaker.
The 10th thing we miss about the United States is our family and our friends.
Yeah, we left them all behind. But it really didn't feel that much different here because our family was already geographically dispersed in the United States, so we already didn't see them that often.
Yes, but unfortunately, due to the quarantine and all the different restrictions, we have not made it back to the United States like we thought we would, and we are really missing all of you very much.
Yeah, we miss you guys. We wish you could come here.
Yes, come visit.
After a tranquilo lunch at Tiki Limbo in Montanita, we're back home in Alone.
Yes, we are so happy to be here in Ecuador. We absolutely love living in Ecuador, despite the few things that we miss about the United States.
Yeah, so we're not leaving. Don't worry about that.
No.
We're staying. No plans to leave Ecuador anytime soon. And we're very, very thankful to be able to share this wonderful place with people from all over the world, from Tasmania to Uzbekistan.
Yes, we are. I think that's all we have for this video. If you liked it, leave us a thumbs up, please.
And if you have any comments or questions, leave those down below and we'll do our best to get them answered.
We hope you have an unconventional day, and we'll see you in our next video.
Ciao.
Ciao.